Hello and welcome to the Bold Business Bits podcast show. This is Ros Jones, and today I am super delighted to be joined by Gina Buckle, founder of Hoot Copy. Hi, Gina.
Hi, thank you so much for having me.
It's a real pleasure. Now, with a name like Hoot Copy, well, tell me more. How did Hoot Copy came about? Where did you find the name? Just tell me more, please, Gina.
So, before I started Hoot Copy, I was a freelancer, a freelance copywriter for about 2.5 years. And I worked across loads of different industries, different specialists and different formats with loads of different clients, which I really enjoyed, really loved doing a bit of everything. But then I started to really drill down into what exactly it was I wanted to be doing with the rest of my career. Maybe not the rest of my career, but at least the next bit of my career.
Yeah.
And when I really thought about what it is I love about copywriting and other examples of copywriting that I really like, it's when brands execute fun and humor really, really well. But at the same time as realizing this, I also realized that a lot of brands do it really, really badly. And more, like, especially I talk about my friends and family all the time, like we'll notice scripts for TV adverts or posters you might see on the tube or something like that just have the most like ham-fisted executed copy you've ever seen in your life. And I just thought, if only there was someone who could help these businesses come up with a way to use fun and humor in a way that feels more authentic to them. Because I think that's the main problem. It's these bigger brands in particular who can seem quite faceless and intimidating. They think, oh, we'll use a little joke or use a bit of humor to try and connect with people. But when it's not done in the right way, it just comes across as another sales message, and people can tell. So that's why I decided to start Hoot Copy, because I wanted to rid the world of cringe, basically.
Rid the world of cringe. I think that's a good strapline, isn't it? Hoot
Yeah.
Copy, ridding the world of cringe.
Yeah.
So what gives you the right, Gina, to decide that everything has to be funny and humorous in the right way? What's your background in humor? Are you a comedian or what's, yeah?
I mean, my friends and family would say I am. And people that I haven't paid to say this have asked me if I've ever done stand-up before. And I promised I didn't pay them to say that. So I take that as a very high compliment. But I've always used humor to get through life and to cope. And I think a lot of people do. And even in really difficult periods of my life, I remember I was at a family funeral a couple of years ago. And after the service, me and my family, we were sat joking together. And I don't think it wasn't disrespectful. It didn't bring the tone down of the day. That was just how we chose to support each other and get through the day. And I think this is another thing that I'm really passionate about, is that fun and humor it's not just for people who don't take things seriously, because I think you can take things seriously and be really good at what you do and be really passionate about what you do and have fun while you're doing it. I don't think those things are mutually exclusive at all. And aside from the lols and the bants, my background is in languages. So I studied Spanish and Italian at university. And whilst I don't use Spanish and Italian in the copy that I write now, what that gave me was a really in-depth understanding of how communication works as a whole, and how what you are about to say, what you want to say, changes entirely based on who you are saying it to and the information that they need to know. And yeah, that is something I use every single day when I'm writing copy for different clients or in different tones of voice. Yeah, it's hugely invaluable to what I do now.
Yeah. As well as just communicating fun, having a humorous twist on things in your communication where appropriate is amazing. And something that really makes you, I think words as well, especially the English language, is so hilarious, really. I have discussions with my husband all the time when you just look at how preposterous it is that a word should be spelt in a certain way and pronounced in a
Oh
certain
my
way. It's
gosh.
just crazy, isn't it?
Yeah.
But language aside, I do feel that, especially in business, because business can be tough and it can be this roller coaster journey, but I think it's easy to leave fun out.
Yeah.
And I'm a big proponent of, can we how can we turn this into fun? How can we make this more of a
Yeah.
game? Especially if there's something you don't want to do, and so you keep putting off. If you made it a bit more fun, purposefully, then maybe it would get done because that's what we say is what's fun
Hmm.
gets done. So
Hmm.
I completely agree with your philosophy. I think in terms of if it's not fun, then why would we do it? You know, and
Yeah.
I think we have to take a step back sometimes and think if you're having a tough time in business, actually, how can we turn this around and make it a bit more joyful?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I think especially for small businesses, I think especially if you have aspirations for growth, a lot of people think that in order to grow, you need to be more professional. And I hate that word, professional, because what does it actually mean? Like taking things more seriously? Well, you are already taking things seriously because you've started a business around this service that you provide. And I just think it's the saddest thing in the world when small businesses who are full of personality and like genuine joy for what they do just feel like they have to strip all that away and focus on communicating like the features of what they do. And they can
Yeah.
absolutely still do that and they can communicate that value, but you don't have to do it at the compromise of your personality and how you like to have fun along the way.
How do you persuade people to adopt your style?
That's a good question. I don't see it so much as about persuading because I think a lot of the behaviors are already there in terms of adopting fun and humor. I think because the reason why I started this business is because people are doing it, but I started the business because people are doing it badly.
Yeah.
Um, Consumers are so fatigued with hearing marketing messaging all the time, and big businesses know that. So they're using things like humor to stand out and really engage people and attract people's attention. But it's just the way that they do it.
Hmm.
And my approach is it's not really rocket science. It's just, well, let's just, before we go crazy with the puns and the memes and the gifs, let's take things back and work out who you are, why, what is it about your business and you that we can communicate through fun? Who is your audience? Why are they laughing? What do you want to make them laugh about? And just creating the parameters around that so that you've got a really clear space to get creative and play in and go, okay, now this is how we're going to create fun. So it's the process itself, it isn't that like ingenious necessarily. And so I don't, when it comes to working with clients, I don't think it's about selling the process necessarily. It's about selling the benefits, which people are already aware of. People
Yeah.
already know that humor can drive like short-term conversions. Like people want to, I think it's like 69% of people would rather would open an email if the subject line were funnier. So it
Yeah.
drives those short-term conversions, but then it also helps build long-term relationships with your customers and keeps people coming back to you and again and again. Yeah, it might be for your content, but they're also becoming for you as a brand and what you offer.
Yeah. I think it can take, in a way, and I don't think this is, well, I wonder whether it's because of social media,
Mm,
where there seems to me that there's a tendency just to copy everybody else. And
yes.
so it takes a bit of guts to stand out
Hmm.
and to do a subject line on an email that's going to really attract somebody's attention and make them belly laugh or tempt them to belly laugh. So there is that thing, isn't there, about the courage to stand out?
Hmm. Yeah. And it is scary. Like there's so many parts of being fun and being funny that are scary. You might be scared you're going to get it wrong and actually offend people. You might be scared that you're not actually going to make anyone laugh and it's just going to fall flat. But I think if anybody's scared about standing out, using like standing out too much, I don't understand. Like it seems so counterintuitive in business
Yeah.
because you want like that's the whole point of
Yeah.
marketing is standing out, not to everybody, but standing out to the people that your business was designed to add
Yeah.
value to. I always talk about the example of like because Monzo and Liquid Death, they're both really like popular examples that people talk about all the time of brands that do fun and humor really, really well. Monzo are a bank at the end of the day. Liquid Death, they sell water, which historically, traditionally, are quite unsexy products and services to try and market. And
Yeah.
they are sort of the first ones who then went, you know what, we're just going to shake things up a bit. We know that people don't want to be spoken to in this way. They want to be entertained. They want to be engaged. and look where they are now. So if you feel like nobody else in your industry is doing things in a way that's funny or fun or engaging, all the more reason to embrace it and really be the thought leader, be the pioneer in your industry.
Yeah, love it.
Yeah.
That's great. Great messages for people. And in terms of your business, though, so
Mm-hmm.
you're still, I hope you don't mind me saying this, but I'm of a certain age, so you are still very young. So
Yeah.
what's it been like? What's your journey been like? Has it been a barrel of laughs and a roller coaster of fun since you set up? What's your journey been like as a young
The
female
journey,
entrepreneur?
it's been it's been interesting, which is a very political answer, I think. But it's been so self-assuring. Like every day I get to prove to myself what I'm capable of. And sure, there are some days where it's horrible and all I want to do is lie down and cry. And sometimes I do. But the fact that I have a cry, dust myself off and get back up again, is just more proof to me, to future me, that I can get up and keep going and doing it again. But I think that I'm able to do that because of the people that I have around me. And I don't think I would be here still going if it wasn't for the network that I have. And that is a professional network, but it's also my friends and my family who, even though they don't understand what I do, I don't think my mum can with any confidence tell her friends at book club what I do still. But they are so supportive. And when I drop into our little family group chat with little updates about I've got this client, I've got this project, we're doing this, they're there with the celebration emoji reacts and they're behind me all the way. So even though I'm alone, I'm doing this on my own, I'm really not. And that's what's made it possible to
Yeah.
get
I
here.
think that is so important, isn't it? Whether if
Mm,
you are like a solopreneur, it's working by yourself all day, every day,
hmm.
having that, we do need that network of support in whatever format that is for
Absolutely.
us, whether it's our friends, our family, or a professional network, as you say. So
Hmm.
yeah, it's crucial. Have there been any times when it sounds super positive what you're saying there, you're proving to yourself every day. Have there been
Mm.
any times when you thought, actually, I think I've made a big mistake?
I normally only say that to myself at about 4 a.m. or
Right.
3 a.m. where I wake up in the night and go, what am I doing? Who gave me permission to do this? But then the day breaks and I get up and I'm back to it. And I don't think that. It's just my lizard brain waking me up
Yeah.
in the middle of the night going, oh, maybe
There is that
it
thing
wasn't a
about
horrible idea.
the darkest hour before dawn or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah. But no, I don't think there's ever been a time where I've seriously considered giving up because I love it too much.
Yeah. You have so
Um,
much fun.
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
You mentioned the future you. Who is the future you? Who do you
Oh,
see?
what a good question. Future me. I've been thinking a lot about her recently. You know, the start of the new year and planning ahead for what I want. And I think she's just somebody who is so unafraid to do what she wants, be where she wants, and say what she wants. I don't mean like in a reckless, like let's commit crimes way, but like just I'm not. I don't want to be afraid to ruffle feathers, and I think especially with what I do and what I offer is going to have to entail and does entail me sometimes turning around to people and saying this isn't working. You need to try something else. And in order for me to do that more effectively, I really need to develop and work on this for future me's sake. I need to work on the strength to be able to turn around and say that to big brands and big businesses who can be quite intimidating, quite scary, but it doesn't matter. They're just people at the end of the day.
Yeah, that's so true. And I love that way of putting it because in my experience as a business coach anyway,
Mm,
it's the thing that holds people back is fear. Usually
yeah,
fear of failure, whatever that might mean, but fear of what people might say, fear of success even. It is big fear.
yeah,
And but then fear, if you think about it, fear is just the anticipation of something, but it's not, fear is expecting the worst to happen, whereas actually the best might happen. And
yeah,
why would you be afraid of that? Well, some
yeah.
people are afraid of the best thing happening.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I love it that you've adopted that stance so early in your business life.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's something I'm grateful for as well. And I use fear, things like fear and jealousy. I use them as tools now. I, if there's something about a situation that scares me or makes me envious, I think, okay, well, what is it that I'm scared of? And is this an opportunity for me to expand my comfort zone? Or is it actually a signal that no, that's what I want to be doing because that person's doing it over there really well and I'm really jealous about it. So
Yeah.
maybe I need to do that.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
And how did you develop that thinking by yourself, or did you go through some process?
I think I'd like to think it was on my own, but I think it's just listening to a lot of podcasts and reading a lot of self-development books and business books. And just, I love hearing about how other people have got to where they are and have found success in what they do, not just copywriters or marketers, but just anybody. And I love taking the lessons that they've applied and seeing if I can apply it to my own life and testing it out. So yeah, just constantly be a sponge, I think, to
Be a
other
sponge.
people's ideas and experiences. Yeah, definitely.
And was it being a sponge that gave you the idea to develop the niche that you've developed? Or was it that just some sort of inner voice that said that led you that way?
I think it was an inner voice, and I wish I could remember the moment when I realized that want to, this is what I want to do. But I don't remember the moment, but I remember the first person I relayed it to is my sister. And we were sat at the kitchen table at my dad's, and I said, I want to be the person that when, let's say, when John Lewis come up with do the ideation around their Christmas advert, and they go, okay, no, yeah, this year we want it to be really fun, really funny, like genuinely funny and engaging. I want them to go, we've got to call Gina Buckle. We've got to give
Wow.
Hoot Copy a ring. And that's like, I had that such clear vision before I'd even started, before I come up with a name or anything. And my sister's so straight talking. Like she won't dress anything up or down, which is, I mean, she's the best person to go to for advice. She just went, well, yeah, obviously that's what you're really good at. I was like, right, okay, cool. We've got the blessing from her. We can do
I
this. It's going to
love
work.
that. I love that. So, well, I'm so glad I met you, before that happened. I was there first.
Yeah.
Better send me your autograph now before you start charging for it. So, but that's great. But what about the year ahead then, Gina? So we talked about the John. I mean, maybe John Lewis will come to you this year, but what about
Maybe.
in the next few months? What's your plans?
Next few months, I really want to own the conversation around fun and humor in branding because I'm on LinkedIn a lot. I'm an absolute fiend for LinkedIn. And I see a load of brands like alluding to it and talking on topics around this, but no one is addressing this head on. No one is talking about fun and humor in marketing the way that I am. And so I really want to get in there and start having these discussions with people and start asking questions to big businesses and making them think about why are you bringing humor to your brand voice? What is it about your audience that makes you think that they'll appreciate this? How are you going to execute it? So yeah, I'm just going to be yapping. It's the year of yapping, basically, and
Year of
talking about
yapping.
fun.
Okay,
Yeah.
well, we're all going to track you down on LinkedIn and then join in your
Oh
discussions.
yes. Oh please do. Yeah.
That sounds like a lot of fun, actually. So,
Mm.
well, thank you. And where do people find out more about you, Gina?
So I am on LinkedIn, as we said. I'm also on Instagram, hootcopy.uk. I also have a website where I talk about what I do and why I do it and the services that I offer as well. And I also have a newsletter, which you can sign up to through my website. I don't do hints or tips on my newsletter. I just send the shortest, most silly email I can think of that week because I think people have got enough stuff coming into their inbox. I think people would rather have something that makes them laugh. And if I can do that, then I've done my job well. So if you fancy a bit of a giggle every week with some strange thing I send you, sign up to my newsletter.
Fabulous. Well, we're all going to sign up for that. That's for sure. Thank you so
Fantastic.
much. It's been amazing and wonderful and funny to speak with you today. So thank you, Gina.
Oh, thank you so much for having me. This has been, yeah, it's been a lot of fun.